All right, it is 5 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started working through our agenda. This is a council work session, so we won't be voting tonight, but we will work through the agenda, and then when we get to the end, we'll have public comment, and I think we got everybody signed in here. First on the agenda is the approval of monthly bills, November 2023 monthly bills. Any questions? All right, approval of minutes, November 13th, 2023, 5 p.m. council work session, November 27th, 2023, 5 p.m. council work session, December 4th, 2023, 5:30 p.m. work session, and December 4th, 2023, 6 p.m. council meeting. Any questions? All right, public hearings, resolution 23-367, approved request for off-premise beer and wine license for Responsible Partners LLC at 609 Bank Street, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
You probably remember this one, y'all already approved for a restaurant retail liquor. That's if they're gonna have like a storefront and a restaurant. They also need approval for off-premise beer and wine.
All right, any questions? All right, resolution 23-368, assess, or we got weed abatements. Okay, any questions on the abatements, weed abatements? All right, resolutions, resolution 23-371, accept AHC grant for Austinville Historic Survey.
This is acceptance of a grant from the state, the Alabama Soil Commission to survey Austinville. It was already budgeted for, so it is in the budget because it's approved for the final project when it goes through it.
All right, any questions? All right, resolution 23-372, approved Lord Sargent to do a master plan for Delano Park and a historic structure report for Fort Decatur.
So this total contract is for both of those. We have a portion of it that was already in the budget, but this project, after speaking with Mr. Ledner and Mr. Bowling, was looking at expanding some of that scope to address the use for Fort Decatur, to look at that building a little bit more. So we have part of this already in our budget, $81,000, and then $72,700 of it would be the unassigned portion of the budget.
Okay, any questions?
How much was that on the side?
$72,700.
Any other questions?
Excuse me a second. Our audio team is working on the sound for this mic, so bear with them while they're trying to do that. Those are in the audience. Thank you.
All right, any other questions on the Delano and Fort Decatur? All right, resolution 23-373, award bid number 20.
Yeah, I thought you had one. Before you leave, Caroline, can you give us an update on what's going on with Sykes Cemetery at this particular point? Just an update as to where we are.
I received the draft report.
I didn't mean to catch you off
That's
guard.
okay. I received the draft report, which I'm reviewing. So they went in and they used ground penetrating radar to try to define the boundaries. They extend a little bit further on both sides that face the road, which is not unexpected because there was not a fence there to really delineate the burials. They were also able to locate more of the burials that they could not find in the first round of work. And I've asked their GIS team to go back in and give me some precise data points for that, so that we can move that into our GIS system. So I'm still waiting to hear back on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Caroline. Resolution 23-373, award bid number 24002 to Alabama Scale Systems for landfill truck scales, being the lowest responsible bidder.
Good evening, Jeremy Sherrill, procurement. We have a bid opening on November the 23rd with 3 responses. This resolution is asking for additional truck scales at the scale house to improve traffic flow in and out of the landfill. We're recommending Alabama Scale Systems as the lowest responsible bidder. This total includes the cost of pouring concrete footers. That is included in that, but we won't know if that's needed until the test holes are drilled So it could potentially come down $18,335 that we're asking for approval just in case.
Okay, any questions? All right, resolution 23-374, approve the purchase of artificial court surfacing for 12 courts with post-tension concrete slab for the covered pickleball facility.
Good afternoon, Council and Mayor. This is to do the courts for the pickleball and the tennis clear span.
So that's the next one as well.
It is.
All right, any questions on those? And that is for concrete.
We were originally going to do asphalt. One of the things with asphalt is, of course, for weather. So the other thing is, this is a kind of new technology. Is what they do is they actually put steel braided cord in the thing, and the cracking that y'all had to pay, that we've had to pay for in the past, with some of the courts, asphalt courts, the places they put these down, they've not had any cracking. So it's a little higher on the front end, but you don't have the maintenance issues with it later on the road.
And what's the lead time?
As soon as, that's the other thing, is as soon as we get this done, they can start.
All right, any questions? All right, ordinances, ordinance 23-4572, approve L. Brian Cagle and Jeff L. Donovan annexation requests of approximately 6.65 acres of property lying on the south side of Acra Lane, southeast and east of Meadowbrook Drive, southeast.
Yes, good evening, council. This is the, this will be 5 lots that will be annexed into the city that will be used for residential. Ingress, egress will be off Acra Lane, and it was approved 6-0 by planning commission on November 21st.
All right, any questions? All right, boards and committees, reappoint Shakina Crittenden to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2028, and that will be a first full term. Any questions? You want to give a speech or? Okay, all right, and then we have reappoint Shane Stewart to the Parks and Recreation Board, term expiring December 31st, 2028, which would be another first full term.
That's correct.
Any questions? Blake, any comments? Okay. All right, that is it on the agenda. We will move into public comment. Got the sign-in sheet here. We'll just go in order. I did want to mention a couple of things. The last meeting and really the last two, we had to end before everybody got a chance to speak. I think they got a little bit out of hand at the end. So I just ask a few things. We want this to be productive. There can be no profanity. There can be no personal insults. And also just try to limit disruption from the audience. So we want to hear from everybody. We don't want to have to cut people off like we did the last two. But we want it to be an orderly meeting, and it has to be an orderly meeting. If it isn't, we just will end the meeting and everybody won't get to speak. So with that said, in 3 minutes for everybody that has signed in. With that being said, we'll move into public comment. The first name I've got is Blake Stewart.
Good evening. So I've been hesitant to speak in this forum until I saw the travesty that was Mr. Pepper's press conference last week. And at that point, I decided I can no longer stand idly by and let others do all the speaking. Mr. Pepper has a lack of understanding of the basic concepts and procedures that run this city, and by sharing that lack of understanding with the media, he makes our city and this body look ignorant. I ask that the members of the council or Mr. Marks please explain to Mr. Pepper the difference between administrative procedures and investigations and criminal investigations so that he can understand that violation of policy determinations can be made without any criminal investigations or procedures. Therefore, Aaliyah's evidence is not needed to fire the police officers. Mr. Pepper. The City Council has stated in previous meetings that they are not allowed to discuss or release information about the Steve Perkins case. If this is still the case, I ask that the City Council formally censure Mr. Pepper for violating that and releasing information, or in Mr. Pepper's case, false information, about the personnel board decision process in what seems to be an effort to create discrepancies or loopholes for the personnel board to overturn the mayor's decision. If Mr. Pepper is receiving leaked information, as he stated in the 8 December 23 press conference, I ask that the city council compel him to release these names so that the personnel board can begin administrative actions against those individuals if they are city employees, as they appear to be violating city policies. I know that names of the officers have not been released to protect their due process. However, names of officers who are believed to have been terminated or suspended have circulated through rumor, conjecture, and social media posts. I'm not asking for those names to be released, but additional conjecture has proposed that at least one of the officers involved in this personnel action has a family member within DPD that has been on site for the arrest of the peaceful protesters known as the Night Shift. I ask that the city council and the Decatur Police Department look into this rumor, and if found to be true, that actions be taken to remove that individual from these situations due to a potential conflict of interest and perceived abuse of authority. If nothing else, it gives the city and DPD a black eye for allowing a potential conflict of interest and what looks like possible retaliation by the officer, and also by the department. Lastly, I will take this time to quickly say something to those within the city that seem to have no voice on this issue. Please find your voice. The silence is deafening. Stop canceling events for the quote-unquote safety of the participants. The real protesters that are here for justice in the Perkins family are peaceful protesters, and no one's safety should be in question. I challenge you to take 10 minutes out of your evening to come to the City Hall and talk with the Night Shift. You will find that all they are asking for is the same thing you would want if your loved one or friend were gunned down on their front lawn. That is justice and accountability. As I say these words, I have to worry about, As I say these words, I have to worry about whether or not I get invited to the next social event or my kids get invited to the next birthday party. But the people of color in our city that are speaking out for the same things have to worry about making it home tonight without being stopped by 7 police officers for a noise ordinance violation. That is not right.
Thanks, Blake. Can I
Let me
just follow
finish.
up?
Let me finish.
I got
I'm
it.
almost done. I didn't know Steve Perkins. I do know his daughter. She plays basketball with my daughter. I am currently missing their game tonight, but I'll get to see the next one. Steve Perkins will never get to see one of her games. Thank you for your time, and I will close with this. Thank you, too. I support the Perkins family. I support the Night Shift. I support justice for Steve Perkins.
I do have one question, if you don't mind. Can you repeat the part about the family member? You lost me a little bit. Just explain it to me. You don't have to read it.
I know the names of the officers has not been put out, but if you look on social media, if you talk to people who are involved in this situation, there is conjecture that one of the police officers who was either fired or suspended, I'm not sure which, that he has a brother or family member who is also a police officer who has been involved in it. All of the harassment of Night Shift has been involved in the stopping of individuals who had previously been arrested for being on the bridge or being at the mayor's house, and I think that should be looked into.
I got it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Sharonda, is it Atkin? Ackland, okay.
Hello. So I'm just touch on a couple of key areas real quick. So, Mr. Bowman, we're still not satisfied. It took you too long. As Controller Perkins stated, it shouldn't have taken 2.5 months. As Nick Perkins stated, terminating 3 officers and suspending 1 is no comparison to Controller losing her husband, siblings losing their brother, or Miss Perkins losing her son. It's not justified. See, you may feel that you've done your part, but I disagree. You still don't even have the decency to disclose to us the length of suspension for the officer who wasn't terminated. And you made that decision not to, so that's not transparency. Do you remember when you stated in one of the first council meetings that your legacy was still being determined? Well, that legacy is now tainted and soiled. We won't allow it to be forgotten how callously you've handled this situation. You've chosen to be absent while our city has been in turmoil. You've been blatantly disrespectful to our pastors during prayer, to your citizens while speaking, voicing our concerns. So it would be much appreciated if you made the decision to just go ahead and step down now versus the city having to endure another 2 years of the same disappointing leadership. However, before you go, there's still some cleaning up to do, starting with the termination of Todd Pinion. You have the sole power to make that decision.
That's right.
See, it shouldn't have taken Steve to be murdered by his officers for him to realize how flawed this department is. To this day, his officers are still making unlawful arrests, using excessive force, targeting, and trying to intimidate protesters, while he does absolutely nothing about it. It's as if they have no leadership, so they make the rules as they go.
That's right.
Now to the rest of the council. If there's anything that can be done as a collective to have Pepper removed, then now's the time to use the power and do so. He has self-appointed himself as a spokesperson for the entire council board, and that's not a good look. I couldn't imagine having to refer to him as my colleague. He's an embarrassment to the entire city of Decatur. Now to you, Pepper. You have refused since day one to say justice for Steve Perkins. You stated that you were waiting until the investigation was over. Why'd you change your mind? I honestly believe that it's because you don't think that Steve deserves justice. Well, he does, and we're gonna make certain that he does receive it. See, I would have respected you more if you had been man enough, or I'll say bold enough, to voice that to our faces. But instead, what did you do? You intentionally leaked your own letter to take your stance in support of the officers who murdered him. But clearly your thoughts and feelings don't matter because guess what? They were terminated and suspended. But then you keep bringing up Aaliyah's investigation regarding their termination. Their investigation has absolutely nothing to do with the policies and procedures of the Decatur Police Department. Those officers failing to do their jobs that they were hired to do resulted in Steve losing his life. Try to help me understand your thinking now. If their superior found that they failed to do their job properly, then who are you as an EMT to feel that he made the wrong determination? But you want to be an officer so bad. So bad that you were impersonating one, right?
Ms. Ackland,
Right?
we hit 3 if you can.
Okay, I'm almost through. Let's be clear though. Honey, regardless of how much brown nosing you do, there's no department in any state that will ever hire you to be an actual officer. Even if they wanted to hire you, they couldn't. Reason being, I don't think you're bright enough to pass the exam, and I'm 100% certain that you wouldn't be able to pass the physical agility test.
Ms. Ackland.
So you're a joke, and nobody takes you serious, so give it up.
James Vito.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our points stood as follows. Though we've gotten the termination of 3 of the officers, we still want their prosecution for the death and murder of Stephen Clay Perkins. We also want the removal of the police chief, Todd Pinion, by January 15th. Mr. Bowden, that's the reason why those people outside your house. That's the reason why you went to the ABC store. Because you're trying to drink away something that you have to face something every day. And you can't find it at the end of a bottle, sir. You have to find it in here, facing the people who voted for you. That's why they're outside your house, because they are serious about the removal of Chief Pinion. We also want a comprehensive review of the police department by a third-party, minority-based firm. If you would like one, I can suggest one to you that is outside the state, that has no connections to any department in this state at all. If you would like to, just message me.
Can you send that to us, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We also want a commitment to the installation of a community-focused police chief with integrity and leadership qualities necessary to transform and improve the police department. We also want the establishment of a citizens review board to provide transparency and accountability for the officers' complaints. I'm going to end with this. Mr. Pepper, I did not come to last week's meeting because I feel like it was going to eat you up, so I let the other people do that, but now I'm here. I'm somewhat perplexed from your statements from the letter that was released and the press conference in regards to not being enough evidence and wanting to finish the investigation. However, on August the 18th, 2022, you shared a ring video of an off-duty police officer in an altercation in his own yard with a guy in a Jeep. And what you said, and I quote, "This is heartbreaking. I cannot believe an individual can hate something or someone so much to the point of attacking someone at home." This is what you said, Mr. Pepper. This animal attacked one of our own. He attacked someone who didn't do anything. He attacked someone who's enjoying a day off from one of the most stressful jobs in America. My prayers are with the officer and his family, and the animal deserves the worst. That was your statement, Mr. Pepper, on August the 18th, 2022. Now, I will agree, I don't believe anyone should be accosted or threatened on their own property. Anyone, officer or not, officer or citizen. But I find that to be very biased. I don't know about,
We hit 3, if you can just wrap up the last point.
I don't know about you, whatever church you go to, but my Bible tells me that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And the Bible also says, Mr. Pepper, it says that woe to those leaders who cast weights unjustly. Jesus told the Pharisees, you care about the cumin and the dill, but not the weightier matters of the law, such as justice and righteousness. That you're meticulous about small things, but careless about major things. Mr. Pepper, not only do I not think that you are mentally capable for this position, or emotionally capable for this position, but I don't think you're morally capable for this position. I question your morals, I question your judgment, and for that you need to be removed as well. Thank you.
Mr. Walker, Rob, you left some books with me last week. I forgot them. My wife is bringing them, so we're going to move you back some so that you'll have those books before you get started. And that's what I was trying to tell you. I went outside to see if they were there, and they're not there yet. She's bringing them on. No, someone's outside waiting. Thank you.
Next, we have Colby Burns.
City Council. My name is Colby, and just like everybody else in here, I'm a citizen of the city. I've been a citizen of the city for about a couple months now. I want to express my displeasure at seeing how this department, the police department of Decatur, has harassed continually protesters who have been nothing but peaceful this entire time. That's right. 2020, I was in Huntsville on June 3rd when Huntsville Police Department tear gassed protesters. I was working as a medical advisor, and I was shot at, tear gassed, and sprayed multiple times by police officers. So I've seen harassment. But this that I've seen by actually peaceful protesters who have not broken a window, have not physically assaulted anybody at any of these protests. This is true peaceful. Regardless of language or location or time of day, it is peaceful regardless of that. And yet this department has allowed its police officers to just act like they're their own people. And I'm about tired of that. I'm tired of seeing the harassment. These people want justice. I want justice for a man that was gunned down in his own home. To see that on a camera footage, there's some people in the community that still don't even believe that of that footage that was real. Well, I may be a a graduate of Brewer High School and a resident of Alabama with the education system, but even I can see in that entire footage that it was an innocent man ambushed by police officers who think that because they have a badge and a gun, they can do what the heck they want to.
That's right.
That ain't right. So I'm pushing my own blood. I'm just a regular citizen, but I want to see. I will be there day one. I want to see these police officers prosecuted, arrested, and pushed to the Alabama justice system with the murder of an innocent man. And I want to see all charges dropped for these protesters.
That's right. That's right.
Peaceful protesters. That is all. Y'all have a good day.
Anthony Burgess, if I'm saying that right.
Y'all doing?
All right, yeah.
First, I would like to ask everybody to stand to give Mr. Billy Jackson a really hand of applause.
No.
He had his slide. And the reason why I did it because he spoke off from day one on the situation. And I know that you don't want it, but you deserve your flowers. And we're going to give them to you. And the thing that I want to say, it isn't so much to the board, it's really to us in the city of Decatur. I brought a history book with me tonight. It's called Sanctuary. And it was written by two white men. And in this book, it gives you a history of how black bodies was burned. How women who was pregnant, their stomach was cut off, and their head, and when the baby fell on the ground, the baby head was stumped. And the reason why I brought this book was to let the city of Decatur know that we are asking for something that they can never give us. The reason why, because when you study the history of this country, it was rooted in our demise, in our death. So we are pleading and begging for something that we could never get. That's why Martin Luther King said he feared that he was integrating his people into a burning house.
That's right.
And our unity is more powerful than what they call an atomic bomb. And this is what we need. We don't need to ask questions. We need to unify on the basis of love, regardless of color. On the basis of love, unify and get the justice that we need. Never exciting, but the unity. If you want our vote, then we need to hold our vote until somebody can make sure that our agenda can be pushed. Because vote time, they come around with us and smile. And we always fall for the okie doke. And we get mad when they won't do nothing for us, but we fail for the banana in the tailpipe out the gate. So my thing to Decatur is this. Let's stop asking and let's unify and make it happen. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yvette Rice.
I want to make sure that this mic is working and everybody can hear because it's difficult with my back turned to the people. Just for clarity and understanding that I'm asking these questions to the mayor and Mr. Marks because they can answer them. I also will bring some things before the council as well, but, and one of these questions does include a question from Dr. Claudette Owens, who's in her absence. But just for clarity and understanding by all parties concerned, I want to bring some clarity. I know we've said it over and over and over again, but obviously there are some people in the room that just don't get it. So we're gonna break it down. And if Mr. Marks can answer us, and I'm sure he'll be happy to, because he always has been, we can get some answers and end some of this confusion. the basis for the removal of the 3 police officers and the suspension without pay of the 4th one was based on the internal investigation of their conduct regarding policy and procedures of the Decatur Police Department, which is considered an HR matter. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct. Please answer me, Mr. Marks. It's correct.
I've already shared.
I understand.
I've already, no, what I'm saying is, we're not able to discuss the details, but the mayor has answered the question. I don't disagree with the
Okay.
mayor,
I
okay?
He said yes.
Okay.
All right, he is correct, okay?
All right, now, are these policies provided to police officers when they are hired with the police department?
Someone from police would need to answer that.
Okay, I'll verify that, but I'm assuming that
I would certainly hope so.
if they're not, we're already in trouble. Okay? I would assume that with any onboarding, just like with any other company or organization or city policy, that they are given and read these policies, and they swore under oath that they would follow them. Correct? I'm assuming, but I would think that would be right.
I've heard them swear
Okay?
to follow those policies.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. All right, as stated on multiple occasions, the hearings held by the mayor followed Decatur Police Chief Todd Pena's announcement that he has reprimanded 4 officers for violation of department policies the night of Mr. Perkins' shooting, and he recommended discipline. That's correct.
That is not correct.
Okay, so.
That's what he shared is, what he found, and he sent that information to the mayor. He did not make a determination.
All right, but
I'm not trying to play with words,
I
but
understand, okay. Well,
I'm
thank
trying
you.
to answer your
I don't
question.
have a problem, thank you. I don't mind being corrected when I'm
No,
wrong.
I didn't mean to correct, but that's what happened, okay?
Absolutely.
Everything before giving the recommendation.
Right, but he based his recommendation on policies that are internal to the Decatur PD, correct?
Mayor did.
And then he provided this information to the mayor. Okay. Now, further, the firing and the suspension of the police officers are not in conjunction with the investigation of Lee. Those are 2 separate procedures going on at this time.
That's correct.
Okay. Next question. So, because we know that they're 2 different, totally different, the information that is required for one is not varied upon the information from another. Is that correct?
Need to let Mr. Marks.
All right, the information from Aaliyah goes to the DA, not to the mayor.
That is correct.
Okay. The information from Mr. Pinion went to where? The mayor. So the mayor's decision was based on information that Mr. Pinion received. And it was also, if I may, and I'm gonna ask this question, it was also based on the interviews of the police officers themselves. You questioned, they were questioned.
I'm sorry, which part are you talking
All
about?
right.
I want to answer your question correctly.
All right. So Mr. Mayor's decision, he also interviewed those police officers. They were asked questions?
That's correct.
Okay.
He
They gave
talked.
their own words, correct? All right, and the mayor based that decision on policies and what they said to the mayor and their statements. Is that correct?
Yes, we did hit 3 a few minutes ago.
I understand, but apparently somebody in this room does not get it.
That's right.
So we're trying to make it clear. And I'm doing it also for a really good reason.
I appreciate it.
I understand that there are citizens in Decatur, Alabama who are completely confused and conflicted because of poor information. So in order for us to come together as a city and work for peace and closure, we have to get the facts right. Correct?
Yes.
I would think so. And with any leaky building, you usually shut down the leak because it causes detriment to the building, in our case to this organization and to the city. Okay, the other question I had. So what we're dealing with is, and I know I've got to hurry, the city of Decatur is dealing with 2 different proceedings. We made that clear. So for those of you who are listening on television, on recording, on Facebook, whatever, these are 2 separate proceedings. The information for one does not depend upon the other. Aaliyah's information will go to the DA, not to the mayor. The information from Mr. Pinion went to the mayor. So we're all clear on that. So let's stop listening to crazy, confusing things that have nothing to do with each other. That information from people that's provided and they don't know what they're talking about is irrelevant to us moving forward and to the actions that need to be taken. Okay, now, last thing, last question we have, and I'm about done. I'm not down for a sermon. All right, this is from Dr. Claudette. It has consistently been explained to the citizens of Decatur that Chief Pinion's investigation and the subsequent decision were administrative. Aaliyah's ongoing investigation is criminal. It's not HR related. It's criminal. It's not HR related. It's criminal. It's not HR related. Thus, the mayor didn't need to hear anything from Aaliyah because all of his was based on policy and procedure. All right, let's move on. Aaliyah's ongoing investigation and information will go to the DA. So now we understand. Everybody, y'all understand that? Yes. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Okay, good. Everyone understands. So no one else should be upset when we hear contrary information that is irrelevant and that has become a public nuisance. Okay, I'm fixing to end. Where then is Councilman Pepper getting his information from? And while I was, and this is from Dr. Claudette, while I was attending the news press conference on Friday, Councilman Pepper had a slip of the tongue and he said, quote, when the information was leaked to me. Of course, he tried to back down and clean it up, but that's it's on camera. It's video recorded. Okay, the second problem, why then is Mr. Councilman Pepper's being allowed to continuously call news outlets and hold news conferences, intentionally mixing the two together and creating confusion and chaos in our city? Okay, this is Dr. Claudette. With 33 years as a federal civilian, ethical behavior is key to me. I believe Councilman Pepper's behavior is unethical and intentional for reasons I guess about, but he knows. Back in the Blue is one of them. Using his name to position to leak information not known to public is another. I believe it's time to file formal ethics complaints against him, and I do know that they are being filed, and they are being notarized, and they are being sent.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terrence
I just want to know what the city council is doing to protect its black citizens. Because I have to go down the tenure that you guys have been here. There was a black man who had his jaw broken by the police when he called because his business was being robbed. The community is already reeling over Jaden DeJarnette. And we're reeling over Steve Perkins. And with the video I saw 2 days ago, or yesterday, of a black man being assaulted by Decatur Police Department, it's callous, it's low, and it shows that the department doesn't have any type of tact, any type of reverence for the community that they serve. Because in this moment, why are police officers fighting with citizens? Why is no one taking this seriously? Why is the council or the mayor not taking the actions of the Decatur Police Department seriously? You know, the Decatur Police Department is an embarrassment, and I'm just gonna say that the city council and the mayor are a stain on the city. Shout out to Billy Jackson.
Christy Love.
Good evening. I understand that most of you can't empathize with us. You can sympathize but not empathize because there exists something referred to as white privilege. Let me clarify. White privilege does not mean that white people don't have hardships, but your hardships are not due to your skin color. You'll never worry about being outvoted in most political forums because you are the majority. You never have to fight for the accomplishments of your people or the people who look like you to be included in school curriculum. You'll never have to worry about being given one Heritage Month and parents of other races given the latitude to opt out. People who look like most of you never had to fight for civil rights. Fight to be treated as human, not just as citizens. You were included in the original Constitution. You can support the police because your skin is not considered a weapon. You're not pulled over because you have a new car and no tag yet. I am not calling you racist. This is not at all your fault. This is woven into the fabric of this country, woven into the flag, and makes our country look like hypocrites every time we say the pledge in liberty and justice for all. Chief Pinion mentioned in his statement a focus on mental health for our officers. Yes, I agree, they do. But I also suggest training on becoming culturally responsive so that they become reflective to uncover biases that inform their policing, so that they can work towards understanding us, not judging those that are different than they are. I'd like to offer my services. My name is Dr. Christy Love, and I've been an educator for over 20 years. My passion and research is centered around culturally responsive teaching through a social justice lens. I provide professional development to all who are interested. I think our city needs an equity and inclusion director. There are people on this panel who need to understand that this city is very multicultural. And I am here, and I actually have my resume. Thank you.
Level, correct.
How y'all doing? Like I always say, I'm a lone wolf, so I speak on my behalf, not nobody else's. So Mayor, I'm not here to down your bash you anything. And hey, if you want a drink, then get your drink, because after all this happened, I need me a drink. I've been getting me some drink, okay? So that's your personal business, okay? But our business, the city business, let's make sure we do that right, okay? Because when this incident happened, about 2 weeks after, Mr. Jackson said that those officers should be terminated based off of policies and procedures. That's black and white, that's written in our handbook. So it took 2 months to handle something that could have been done in 2 weeks. And the due process still could have been done in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It could have happened 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks after it happened. So going forward, we need the city, we need officials, we need Chief Pinion to make sure y'all handle y'all business right. Because I have to say this, y'all officers are out of control. Not all of them, but I'm gonna name one of them. That little Compton kid, y'all need to put a leash on. As a matter of fact, y'all need to get rid of him. His name been coming up too many times. Too many times. I don't have a problem with nobody in the city. And I'm up here basically pleading for all black men go home. And then this Sergeant Sutherland, that is a friend of mine. I love Sergeant Sutherland. But the way some of your officers are acting, it's making him look bad. The night of the protest, when the protest first started, it was some little young guys. Sergeant Sutherland pulled up, he said, "Hey, y'all all right?" And the young guy, like, he went to talk crap. I said, "Hold on. He's not like that." You understand? Now, he don't show me no favoritism because he got on me before. But You need to do that for your good officers. Okay? And now I'm gonna challenge all my people back here and over the city of Decatur. Do not give this guy any attention.
Right. Thanks.
And I'm not talking about no religion or nothing, but the honest people, when they people mess up, they shun. That means they don't even exist. Lions, when they kick somebody out of the herd or pride or whatever it's called, they don't exist. They don't even acknowledge them no more. So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. To me, I see 4 city councilmen. Councilmen. Okay? So that's all I got to say. Keep putting in my attention.
Reggie, will you look at your phone? Cornelius is next. I asked him a question. I just had a question for him. You're next on the list.
No, I'll pay.
Okay. Next then is Walter.
I'll pass it to Mr. Reggie.
Okay, that's what I had asked him.
Good.
All right, come on. Sorry.
No.
That's what I asked him.
Thank you. Again, I'm Reggie McKenzie. The grand jury has met on my grandson. Now, the problem I have, and I know why, probably the chief and others don't release information. A lot of inconsistencies. On the report from my grandson, there was 3 officers. In the grand jury, there was 6 officers. So I'm trying to understand what happened to the other 3 and where they were from. So not only that, we still haven't got an internal investigation from Decatur. Nothing. So Mayor, when you be in the office tomorrow, I'd like to come with our family, meet with you and the chief, because we shouldn't have to do this in public. We should get some answers. My grandson was killed. When they did the grand jury, there's a lot of inconsistencies on what chief told us. And that's the problem. So we want to just get to the truth. That's all we asking for. It's not going to bring my grandson back, but we need the truth. That's all we asking for. Grand jury, so we got to wait till the grand jury meet. Grand jury already met. And one of those officers, and probably 2, I don't know, at least 1, has been fired. But need to be charged not only with what happened to Steve, but what happened to my grandson. Because what he did is what Chief said he did. It's more to the story. And we need the facts. We need to understand that. So we'd like to come and meet with you and the chief and understand if there's going to be was there an internal investigation? He said there were some notes and things taken. He looked at the video 3 or 4 weeks after it happened. He had a death on his hand, a 16-year-old, and he didn't even look at the tape until we came to the first city council meeting. That's a shame. He trusted what his officers said. I would do that. In the military, I trust my soldiers. But trust and verify. So it probably was a false report that was filed when my grandson was killed. I say killed because they chased him to his death. So I like to come, we'd like to come tomorrow, meet with you and the police chief to get more answers. Because we shouldn't have to come up here. I shouldn't have to come up here and say, the grand jury said it was 6 officers, Decatur said it was 3. We shouldn't have to do that. Especially in public. But we're going to continue to do that until we get the answers. So I'm asking, the chief wouldn't meet with the other grandfather. He begged him to meet. He never would meet with him. We had to talk with him down here. So I'm asking you, Mayor, will you meet with me and the family and to kind of start getting to some answers on what happened to my grandson?
I believe your case is with the district attorney, is it not?
No, it's over. The grand jury is met.
Okay.
That's all over. Now we want to see the video. You don't have that excuse no more. It's over. The grand jury, they didn't charge the officers, none of them. They, whatever they call that word. I don't know. No build it.
They no build it?
They no build it.
Okay.
So right now, we want to see the video. We want to see the internal investigation, all the reports. But first of all, we want to meet with you and the chief. Because we should have to do this in public. But we're willing to do that if we have to. Because I ain't trying to grandstand. I'm trying to get justice for my grandson.
But I believe that the district attorney has possession of all the evidence in the case at this time. Is that right?
Well, I think he probably still have some, but I'm sure Decatur Police Department has it as well. I want the internal investigation what Decatur has, not what Aaliyah turned over. That's separate.
Right. So I have an open door policy with the exception of personnel matters and.
It's not a personnel matter.
And matters that are related to litigation. This would be one that's related to litigation. It would be up to the chief.
Up to the chief?
Yes, sir.
To meet with me and you and the chief?
Not with me.
Oh, we have to meet with the chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're not concerned about your officers?
Does not mean that I'm not concerned. Does not mean in the least that I'm not concerned.
So legally, the mayor can't meet with us? I'm asking your attorney.
I'm not gonna be able to, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to answer that because he made a decision, and I think it's.
Well, I know what his decision was. I'm talking about the law now.
I don't know enough.
Can a mayor meet with a family?
A mayor can meet with a family, yes.
All right, we ain't talking about litigating. We just talking about getting the information for my grandson, whether it's from the mayor's office or the police officer or somewhere in the department.
I'll just say, Reggie, if the chief wants to meet, I'll meet with you and the chief, and Billy will too.
Okay, well, let's do that. And I'd like to do that as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
All right, but like I said, I just want to leave this with, I mean, really, to get more information from a grand jury that I didn't get from the Decatur police, but that really concerns me. And it's really more to the story, even from the initial stop about the light. There's some information about other things before the stop was even made. I'm concerned about that, man. Thank you.
I'll talk to the chief and we'll try to set it up.
Okay, thanks.
Walter.
Sorry. We got activity. You might got something you gotta say. Cause I ain't really got much, cause they ain't gonna answer nothing. So I'm gonna direct this to my people, man. I'm not even directing this to the council, even though I have to look their way. Cause we already know we ain't gonna get nowhere with them. And y'all, we gotta take this to the DA. And we gotta be on their neck every day so we can get some justice and get these people prosecuted. Cause you already see this a show up here, man. That's all this is, a show. Puppet master. He's a puppet master. He's a puppet master. He don't even care because he's weak. So what I wanna tell y'all, man, personally, Billy, thank you, brother. You might not want that spotlight, but you've been the only one fighting since day one, and we're not blind to what's up there. And brother, I know you didn't want this front seat, but we've got to have you there. Anyway, some of us might. But I want to say this to my people, man. Tomorrow's not promised. Any one of us can be Steve Perkins, man. Any one of us can walk out the door right now and be a Steve Perkins. But we do have a problem with these officers out here. I don't go out on night shift because I know I'm going to be a target. Like they targeting everybody else who speak. Y'all see Terrence talking on 31, he went to jail that same night. I know I'm gonna be a target. See, but I just wanna tell y'all, man, I appreciate y'all because I know what she's going through firsthand. I still haven't got justice for my brother's murder, who was killed, shot 4 times in my daddy's yard on Father's Day. This Father's Day will be 3 years. We still haven't got justice. I know what it's like to see your loved one laying on the ground with no life in it. I've seen that. That's why I fight so hard for her like I do with any of the rest of y'all. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something, man, that I tell people usually at funeral homes. But we ain't at a funeral home right now. So I'm going to tell y'all, I love you. See, I'm going to tell you I love you so you can hear with your own 2 ears while I'm here. You feel me? I cried my tears for y'all in these streets, so you saw that it was real. You seen it with your own 2 eyes, bro. And when I go and put these videos on social media, them your flowers that I give the world so they can see the truth. Things that's unedited and uncut because we get no justice up here. So we're going to have to dig deep in our soul, bro, and come together as a people. Like brother said, we got to come together because there's no Democrat, no Republican, no right wing, no left wing. They both connect to the same body. And we the people are body. They have no power. Like I said last time, they use the black pillars to get in. We're going to use that same pillar to get them out. And yeah, I'm not racist because I am biracial, but I'm not stupid and I'm not blind to what's going on to our Muslim brothers and sisters out here. And we got to fight back. And the way to fight back is vote. Come together, unify. None of us should be hungry. None of us should be broke. None of us should not have a ride nowhere. Y'all see how it was 1,300 to 1,500 people standing out here, and we were all together? We got to keep that same energy because we already know what's happening. And like you said, we got to vote people in here, no matter what the color is, but people who are going to make sure we get what we need in this community. You get what I'm saying? Now, I know I'm a target. And I'm gonna continue to be a target if I gotta speak up for no matter, if it's injustice, I'm gonna speak up about it. So I'm not scared. See, there's a lot of people wanna talk, but they're afraid to be heard. I'm not afraid to be heard. Because God said we was in this world, we're not of this world. So I'm just a passerby. I could be gone the next second, but my life will be left on. Everybody will remember the words I said. Everybody will remember the videos. Everybody will remember Speak Life. While Baby Love Life will be left on in the hearts and minds of people all over the nation. And especially them. While he's playing on his phone, y'all see he does not care, man. You do not care. And like brother said, you won't find what you're looking for at the bottom of that bottle tab.
Hey.
You're only gonna find it in your heart.
What I'm doing is working.
You're only gonna find, well, this is public, this is work.
I can hear you.
Yeah, that's the first time you ever addressed me with something. I appreciate your politeness.
Yes, sir.
With me, brother.
Yes,
But
sir.
y'all have a blessing. And Billy, we know, brother, you against a whole, yeah, y'all. Yeah. We're gonna fight for you this city, bro.
Rob Walker.
Can I ask y'all to please listen to this guy? This guy is actually saying something that's vital to our community. And they've been shunning him, but Billy been bagging him. Because what he's voting for and what he's fighting for is they controlling the ballots when they got one rec center. We need many.
Mr. Walker.
I seem to run out of time, so I'm gonna try to get right to the point. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now? No. It's right here. Hey, John, you back there? You can hear me now?
Yeah, just talk loud.
Okay. Instead of talking about credentials, my background, they're available if you may see it. That's really not necessary. This is not, and it hadn't been about, just about T.C. Allen. It's about Kerry Matthews.
Got you, bro.
It's about Kerry Matthews. It's about T.C. Allen, even though it's demolished. It's about the Aquadome, and it's about the Youth Services Center. So rhetorically, who owns T.C. Allen? Isn't it ours? Who owns the Youth Services building? We do. Who owns Kerry Matthews? We do. No, the people pay their taxes. No, who owns the Aquadome? We do. Who owns the chairs that they sit in right now?
We do.
We do. Who owns City Hall? We do. Elected officials who I work for, and I'm proud of that, for 26 years, are temporary. Temporary. And y'all are the guardians and the gatekeepers for the taxpayers. The money that you spend is the taxpayers' money. This is going to be from my District 3 Councilman, Carlton McMasters. Follow me on this, Carlton. I know it doesn't sound right because it's not. But you own your building, correct? Don't you own your building? It's not a trick question. Oh, you don't own it?
No, I don't.
You never have? You leasing it?
It's not mine.
Are you leasing it?
Who owns it? It's not my building.
Who owns it?
My dad owns it. It's not my building.
It's the business that's building it. Who owns the land?
He owns the land.
Okay, good, good. So let's say the government comes to your father, who I respect and admire and like, and the government says, we're going to take your building, we're going to tear it down, we're going to take your land, and you're going to go out here like Wilson Morgan Park to an area for industry. And you say, well, wait a minute, my building is good, I'm going to just stay here, it's paid for. No, government says you're going where other industries are, and here's the catch. You're not going to be paid a dime for your building, not a dime. Now, if this was North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, you could expect that. It's America. So, would that seem fair to you to do the same thing that you've done to T.C. Allen?
Me personally.
Yes, sir. You're my councilman. I've called you many times.
After
I
the
have.
vote was done, Rob.
No.
You called after after the vote was done,
It
which was
doesn't,
4-1.
it doesn't matter because it was a vote taken incorrectly. Section 1152(8, I've dwelt on 1152(11), Herman, says that when there's a master plan, it's arbitrary and capricious not to consider how money's spent. There's 3 ways the city implements a master plan. Spending the money is the big one, big impact. It influences private development, and they make money if it's in the right place. The plan is a way to implement the master plan.
Rob, we
The
have 3
process
minutes.
and the
You can just
purpose.
wrap up your last point.
Well, why did everybody else have to wrap up?
I asked them to wrap up too.
Well, let me wrap up
Okay,
about 3
wrap
more
up,
minutes.
please. No,
Yeah.
sir. We'll not wrap up with 3 more minutes.
You don't have to
There's-
be black to be discriminated against. Y'all see this, don't you?
Right. We get it,
All right, look,
We get it.
there's other people to talk, and I don't wanna have to end
Be
it.
fair.
I'm giving you a chance to wrap up your last point.
Was a cost-benefit analysis done on TCO? Does anybody know what a cost-benefit analysis is?
Yes.
You do? Well, this is the taxpayers' money. You wanna know. They're gonna take your building, what's it gonna cost me? Was a, replacement cost done on TCO? Mr. Ladner?
Not that I know of.
Was an adaptive reuse considered by gutting that building, which was sound conditioned, to put pickleball?
Yes.
It was, well, what was wrong with that?
You have to ask Mr. Lake, he's not here, but they did look at repurposing.
Well, I'm glad he's not here because this is gonna be for y'all to answer anyway.
Okay, that's
How
good.
many
And you-
tennis courts do we have out there? How many?
I'd have to go count, I'm not sure.
Carlton?
I'd have to count too.
You're kidding.
All
You're
right.
kidding. There's 20, not
Probably
counting,
24.
not counting the bubble. Do you know how many pickleball courts can be put on a tennis court? 4. Google it. Even if you had 2, it'd be 40 40 pickleball courts, but we're talking about 80. If you Google Earth and you scan over to Point Mountain, you'll see the exact size in relationship, if you've done this, Carlton, to the footprint of TC Armory. Barely 2 courts will fit in that.
Rob, I'm happy to meet with you and discuss this.
Well, I think the people need to hear
I
this.
appreciate it, but we're about to have to end the meeting if you don't wrap it up, and we do have other people to speak. I'm sorry.
Somebody wanna give it up 3 minutes, somebody wanna give it.
There is no one else signed, unless Mike Stovall wants to give him his 3 minutes.
No, because I need to talk about this chief.
Yes, sir.
All right, 3 minutes back there.
He's not signed yet.
Yeah, just give him 3 minutes.
It's been 6.
Really? It seems like a long time to you, but it doesn't to me.
I know. Thank you, Rob. Next is Mike Stovall.
Rob, before you go though, I'm confused about something. Now, you had correspondence with me.
Briefly.
Yeah,
You've been busy.
I mean, we've talked and we've talked before the vote. But now, am I mistaken that you told me that you talked to Carlton before the vote?
I talked to him about taking a walk and it was warm, so it was the 1st of October and September.
But you just said that you
It
talked
was
to him after.
November.
No, he said that.
It was after the vote was taken.
Doesn't matter. You're my District 3 councilman. It's the first time we've talked. You never had a public hearing.
I think I got text though where you said you talked to him before the vote.
I didn't.
Okay. I'm curious about that.
I think, Bill, you could ask me some more questions if you wanted to.
Thank you. Thanks.
Your turn.
Mike Stovall is next.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't like the way that we set the room up because I feel like it's in a way of controlling me. But I'm anointed to speak. I've been anointed to speak for many years, so I'm going to speak and I'm going to be able to speak to them as well as speaking to you all. First of all, Kerry Matthews, DYS don't go together. You don't put those 2 buildings together. You need 2 separate buildings. Don't put Kerry Matthews and DYS together. And Lemzell Johnson should not be making the plans for Kerry Matthews, maybe DYS because he worked for DYS, but he's not from here. So he should be making those plans for our city. It should be the people here and the people that's grown up in Cary Matthews and the people that knows Cary Matthews. Okay, going right along. I'm standing here for the night shift because I'm a protester as well. I've seen these officers treat us so bad. I've seen these officers the same, and I'm gonna pick back on what the other guy said. I think somebody has a brother out here or a twin brother out here. Why, Chief, since you can't come to me, but Chief, why would you put the same person out here that we're protesting against? I don't get it. Why would you put his brother out here? And his brother is out here reaping havoc. It's a lot of these officers out here reaping havoc. Look behind me, Mike. It's a lot of them reaping havoc on our protesters, and it's not right. Y'all, they're treating us bad out there. We have not tore up anything. We have not been destructive. We have not set this place on fire. So why are y'all picking with the protesters? And I think since he said that everybody, even the people that are involved in Jaden's murder, are the same officers that's coming against the protesters. Now, if these are the same officers that murdered Jaden, why, and we're protesting against them, why would you put them on the same shift with us? Why would you're trying to start confusion? And that's what it's all about, starting confusion. And these officers are out of control. Did you see the video from Walmart? Okay, this officer kicking somebody, doing all this kind of stuff. Y'all got to do something about this. Chief Pinion has got to go. And the reason why I say Chief Pinion has got to go, because his officers are dealing with policies and procedure issues. If you go down, and I did research, most of his officers are new. So if they're new, that means the director in charge should be teaching policies and procedures. Not only that, he had a lieutenant out there smelling like liquor, smelling like whiskey, out there patrolling the protesters. So if this is the case, maybe he wasn't drunk. Maybe he's drunk and he has to come out of his pores. I can give that to him. But he needs to go to AAA. That goes back to what Miss Christie said, mental health. So what am I saying? The chief has got to go. We have a list of things. We have patrolled. I told the police chief a couple of weeks ago, we're now policing the police. We have every picture of the police. We have everything written down that they're doing to us. Now, it'll be different if we was out here setting this place on fire. If we go out there and set Goody Two Shoes on fire, which is there's nothing in downtown Decatur, y'all have nothing, y'all need to fix it up. But what I'm saying is, we're not tearing up anything, so y'all should not be harassing us. And that's what it's turning into, is harassing us. And the thing is, we're not backing down. We're not gonna back down. And another thing I would like to say, a lot of things what's going on with Hunter, with Mr. Pepper, is somebody's put a battery in his back. And he's trying to get this case moved out of the DA's hand into the Attorney General's hand. I'm not stupid. The Lord speaks to me by night. Man. You tell Lovelace or whoever to take that battery out of your back. They didn't tell you that there's consequences behind that. When somebody put a battery in your back, there's going to be a consequence behind it. Because you leaked out some information.
Thank you. All right, that's everyone to speak. Anything else from the council? All right, we are adjourned.